I thought it'd be good to come here to the oldest winter borders that we've got here at the Bishop's Palace. On the right hand side of me here we have the border that we planted in 2018, and on the left hand side we've got the border planted in 2019. There's a lot of winter interest within these borders. We're now into early winter, and as the season progresses there'll be lots and lots more colour appearing. Structure and colour comes from plants like the conifer here, Picea pungens glauca. If you have a bit more space, that's well worth growing. We've still got a fair bit of colour from the mahonias, the yellow flowered mahonia there at the back. The dogwoods, the brightly coloured dogwoods with their red, green and black stems, they're really beginning to show now as well, as are a number of the other conifers as well that we've planted throughout it. We've deliberately, as with all the borders at the Bishop's Palace, whatever the garden style, whether it be contemporary, English garden style or older, we've gone for a big range of leaf shape, texture and colour, and as much interest through the season as possible. With on this side of the winter borders, the more newly planted border, we have a few different plants. We have a number of these Edgeworthia, which have fantastic flower buds, silver grey flower buds, which become more and more pronounced, and then flowers, which one or two of which are starting to show now, just here, but will become very obvious, very bright as the winter progresses. Along this border also, lots of really healthy witch hazels, which is this plant here, which will, in a month's time, really begin to show lots of nice rich burnt orange colours, as well as all these lovely dogwoods behind. Here's a very different border for winter interest as well. We planted this border back in about 2011, and one of my favourite plants is in here, Hydrangea quercifolia. It has fantastic flowers for much of the summer, these lovely leaves which turn this lovely rich variety of reds, but a lovely rich colour for much of the winter. They're a good contrast actually for many of the conifers that we have in this flower bed, and even the strawberry tree there as well. So again, it's an example of a completely different style of planting, big range of leaf shape, texture and colour that I often talk about. Here's a very exotic take on winter interest. If you have a south-facing wall or perhaps a sheltered courtyard, many of these plants should do pretty well. This border's been in for about 15 years now, and it hasn't really been tested by a very hard winter. If it was, some of these plants may get frosted back a bit, but they should survive. But really, it's a bit of fun really, this border here, this exotic one. Plants like the loquat, which can have orange fruit on it. This is called Herbaceous. Lovely big glossy leaves, again for a slightly for a south-facing wall, and lovely scented flowers as well. The very tough Yucca gloriosa variegata, this one here, and even the structure from the ginger lilies in the summer, still looking good as they get frosted. And the cut-leafed Melianthus major, a plant which used to get frosted back much more in the past, but in recent winters it tends to hold on to its foliage, which gives us a lot more to enjoy. And the reason we created this border here was because it ties in with a sketch we've got from 1830, which shows this area and much of the area behind looking or planted in quite an exotic, luxuriant style. So we thought it would be good fun to create something like that around this tower. Here's another feature for winter interest, the knot garden. This is actually shaped as a portcullis, which was one of my garden team, Rob's idea, and he got the idea from the crest up there in the oriel window. So Rob's shaped this over the years with euonymus green rocket is that one. You can also have euonymus Jean Hughes, These are, as I've said before, these are by far and away the best replacement for box in southern England. They've absolutely thrived and are very drought tolerant as well. And here we've added shapes to them, the pyramids, the U pyramids, which we'll shortly shape, and some of the U balls as well, surrounded by plants like lovely golden yellow Libertia, which is a particularly good one, or the very simple, very easy to grow Carex just there as well. So this is on a fairly big scale, but you could also do it on a much smaller scale in your back garden or back courtyard, something like that. Here's something else for winter interest. One of our herbaceous borders, deliberately planted for structure for the summer, but also for the early winter as well. So lots of interest from things like the sedum, the flat plates there of the flowers have long finished, Artemisia there, which is beginning to turn colour, the silver, fantastic Stipa tenuissima grass, which is a really good grass to grow, Agapanthus seed heads there, they'll be good with frost on them later on, and the decaying stems there of the asters through the central section. Here's something else you could consider for winter interest on a much smaller scale than this. This is our contemporary take on a Victorian stumpery, and we've added plants like the big tree ferns there, which we will have to protect if it turns too cold later on. Nice big stumps there, chestnut stumps that add real structure. Epimedium leaves there, the hart's tongue fern, male ferns, American sword ferns, lots of interest through here. Even I think there's beauty in the frosted decaying remains there of the hostas that was so colourful only a month ago. I hope this might have given you some ideas for your own gardens for winter interest, but if you are in the Palace Gardens and you have any queries, the garden team are always happy to answer them.